For the ordinary mwananchi, the streets of Nairobi are a harsh place to exist. This is anyone who lives below the basic minimum wage of $1 a day. With a troubled economic status comes the disadvantage of justice being denied.
We are Haki Mashinani.
In the midst of all this, there are organizations working to correct the situation and bridge the gap to social justice.
Hello viewers and welcome to Shujaa right here on WTV Kenya. I'm your host Linda Kruger. Now today we are at Haki Mashinani and we're going to be finding out some more about what they do. And I'm joined here by Salome Atieno. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I think we can start off by telling us what you do here at Haki Mashinani and what Haki Mashinani is all about.
Okay, as you said, my name is Salome Odero. I'm the Executive Director for Haki Mashinani.
Mm-hmm.
We are a legal organization that provides legal services to people at the grassroots level, and mostly it's in the informal settlements. Haki Mashinani became an idea last year when I met the founder of Microjustice for All International, which is based at The Hague in the Netherlands. The lady is called Patricia Van Nispen.
Mm-hmm.
She started Microjustice for All in 1996 to address the issues of refugee migration. She wanted to address issues of documentation of refugees because once they flee from their countries of origin
Mm-hmm.
to countries where they seek asylum, they did not carry their documentations with them. So she had this idea of why not start providing civil documentation whereby you provide maybe birth certificates or death certificates or any other civil documents that these refugees might need.
Mm-hmm.
So last year in March of 2015,
Mm-hmm.
I met her for an interview and we started, and she sold for me the idea of starting a country organization in Kenya.
Wow.
So we started it with myself,
Mm-hmm.
Patricia, as a guidance so that she can guide us into what the idea she wanted in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
For the idea that she wanted in Kenya, it was myself and Ulrika Luhe, who is currently in South Africa, though she had to leave.
Okay.
So what we do is we provide legal services in the informal settlements, whereby we get clients who come to us, they tell us what their legal issues are, and we try to find legal solutions to them.
Mm-hmm.
So Microjustice for All, together with Haki Mashinani, we focus on 4 topical areas. But this is not the end of it all, because once you go to the informal settlements, especially in the slum areas,
Mm-hmm.
people have different legal issues.
Mm-hmm.
But though we focus on civil documentation, which includes birth certificates, death certificates, affidavits, or other legal documents that the clients might need, we also try to economically empower the people, but most specifically women, in trying to register their businesses.
Yeah.
Because once you register your business, you come to realize that there are other opportunities that are open to you. So we educate the masses as well as groups or individuals on the different forms of business registration. So this includes sole proprietorship,
Mm-hmm.
partnerships, companies, be they limited by guarantee or limited by shares.
Mm-hmm.
We also try to register social groups. So this includes CBO, community-based organizations,
Mm-hmm.
self-help groups, societies, if they want to register societies. But the other areas includes land and property.
Okay.
Land is an issue that affects so many people. You and I we might inherit land and land from our parents,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to the transfer of the same, it
Yeah.
becomes an issue, or it becomes a conflict between, if you're sisters, or between family members. It can be relatives, it can be the immediate family unit.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to address such issues. Succession and inheritance is also a matter an issue or an area that we also try to educate the masses on. Why should you write a will? What are the benefits of writing a will? How do you go about drafting a will? So those are the 4 areas that we focus on primarily.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've said, there are other emerging issues that come to us, which we might not address, but we also try to address them. And how we work is we have legal field officers who are fresh graduates from university.
Mm-hmm.
So we take them, they join us, and then we have focal areas where clients can come. And the reason why we use legal officers or people who have a background in law is so that they have an idea of what the legal issues are or what the legal solutions might be. So where we are currently is in Kibera, where we partner with another organization, which is the Kibera Human Needs Center. We are in Kawangware, where we have partnered with the Kawangware Paralegal Youth Trust. We are in Kamukunji, where we have partnered with Kamukunji Justice Center, which is an organization that works together with Kituo cha Sheria. We are in Korogocho, where we work with a school called Macau School, but we have also rented out an area, an office space, where we also try to assist the people of the community.
All right.
We also work in Naivasha, but not in Naivasha town, but in some flower farms in Naivasha, namely Florence's, and then there's Flamingo, all the Flamingo flower farms in Naivasha.
Wow.
So in a nutshell, that is what we do.
That is amazing. That's a nice collective to do things in one basket.
Yes.
And maybe I'll ask you, in all these areas, what are the most pronounced issues that you've had to tackle, and that are resounding from one area to the next? It's the same thing you'll find maybe in Kawangware and Kibera.
Yeah. Okay, so what we over the past couple of months, what we have come to realize is different areas have legal different problems. If you go to Kamukunji, we have problems that affect a majority of the people. We have forceful evictions. That is an issue that will affect people in Kamukunji. But if you go to Kawangware, it's a different story. You have a lady coming to you who has an issue of domestic violence. You have a situation whereby a lady comes to you also, she has a case of child support, parental responsibility, she wants to get a divorce. Domestic violence. You go to Kibera, which is an area that has different issues. The dynamics of Kibera are totally different from the dynamics of Kamukunji or Kawangware or any other area where we work. But what we have learned and what resonates across the board is the need of people wanting access to justice. The concept is there on paper, but in practice it is not realized for a number of reasons. One thing, they have legal issues, but they cannot afford an advocate. That is one. They have legal issues. They can have an organization that provides the legal services to them, but for all legal solutions, if you want to go to court, it's time consuming. They have legal issues, but then, for example, if you have a case of domestic violence, the supporting documents will require you to go to the police and bring police abstract or police reports. But there's a separation between the institution that provides these services and the people themselves. So there's a gap in the realization of access to justice. Now, how then will an organization like Haki Mashinani or any other legal organization that provides such similar solutions, how will they come in and bridge the gap? So bridging the gap is also an issue that resonates across the board and in the areas where we work in. But at the end of the day, everyone has a legal problem.
That's true.
Everyone has a legal need. But how do they get solutions to these problems? That is the problem. And I mean, the sooner we find a solution to that, the sooner things may improve. I agree, because if we want to be a country whereby currently we are a third world country, but if we want to forge ahead to have a situation whereby everyone is informed of his or her rights, everyone has a way of actually addressing the issues before a tribunal, before a commission, or even before a judge or a magistrate, whereby they are so empowered that they have no fear of going to these institutions to have the legal needs addressed. Then if we can get there, then I think we'll have achieved as an organization our role. We'll have done our role so that people know that they can have their issues addressed.
That's very true. And maybe to throw a spanner in the works is that there is the assertion, and I think it's a truth, that we have a very progressive legal system in the country. The laws are there, we have countless acts, but there always seems to be a problem when it comes to, people, knowing their rights. Two, believing in their rights is what I call it. Why do we have that disconnect? Why does the system not, in essence, work for the mwananchi?
I think where the disconnect is between the common mwananchi and the elite mwananchi, or the informed Kenyan, to say, for lack of a better word, is like you said, rightfully so. The laws are there, policies are there, but is an act or a law that a lawyer will understand, or someone who is educated will understand? Is it worded in such a way that the common Wanjiru will be able to read it and comprehend it? That is the question that we should actually be asking. Are the laws made in such a way that anyone can read, understand? The procedures are so simple for anyone to actually say, I'm aggrieved, I am an aggrieved party, and you are the perpetrator. I can actually go to court. I can go to the police station. I can address this issue, through the given channels of redress, so that at the end of the day, I'll be able to get a solution, and I'll get a solution to my problem. But that is not the case. Laws are there. Implementations of the law is the problem. Lawyers are there, but each lawyer, they are guided by the Advocates Remuneration Order. But you'll find a simple solution for you to go to a lawyer, to his law firm to get redress. First, you'll have to pay a consultation fee. How many people in the slum areas are actually in a position to pay for consultation fees?
The cry of the downtrodden man is seldom heard until it is amplified into resounding cries from more downtrodden men. We take a break, but when we come back, we get to really understand the magnitude of the work done by Haki Mashinani on the ground.
The legal aid bill was enacted. It is an act right now, but how are organizations implementing it? Is it implementable so that anyone who wants to have redress is in a position to do so? I would say laws are there, but ensuring that everyone has his or her day in court or through any other what is it called, dispute resolution mechanism, it's not the case. It's not there for now. But it can be a long-term goal whereby we as civil society organizations, together with the judiciary or institutions that actually try to advocate for rights of people, come together, work with the masses, and ensure that everyone has a say in the protection of his or her rights.
That's very true. That's wonderful. And going into the whole aspect of legal aid, maybe for the benefit of our viewers watching, you can explain the concept to us, how it works, and is everybody entitled to it, and how we can access it?
Okay, so how we work is legal aid on a pro bono formula is whereby you go to the masses, because I believe that the middle class and the emerging middle class, they can afford a lawyer. But the people at the grassroots level, they're not in a position to afford a lawyer. They're not in a position to have someone listen to them for free without actually asking for something to lend an ear to what their problems are. So what I believe is, or what we do as an organization, is we go to the community, we have a room or we have an office space where people can come, talk to us about your problems. It might not necessarily be what we offer. It can be on anything that you want to get addressed. It can be on matters of labor. It can be on matters of employment. It can be on matters of family issues. Having problems between you and your husband that might not necessarily mean that you want to get a divorce. It can just be separation for the time being, so that you can let everything cool down. It can be on matters of succession, inheritance. People just come, listen, have someone listen to you, give you advice, but no solution, because some of these cases, yes, the Constitution allows for alternative dispute resolution, but in most instances, ADR might not be the solution. You'll have to go to court, but that will also mean that going to court, someone will have to pay for your fees. And this is where I think civil society organizations that are in a position to give you an advocate, or get an advocate to go to court to you and handle your case, I think that is where the buck stops. Yeah.
Yeah. So in essence, when a case comes to you, let's say as Haki Mashinani, you're in a capacity or in a position to take up the whole case for the person all the way through.
Okay, so what if it depends? What kind of a case is it? Is it a case that requires someone to go to court? So what we do is we work with pro bono lawyers, whereby if the case needs to go to court, because we do not go to court, it's not in our mandate.
Okay.
Yes, but we work with lawyers, external lawyers who refer the case to them. They interview the client, they know what the problem is, then they decide, do we do it through the alternative dispute resolution or do we go to court? And if we have to go to court, time is money.
Oh, yeah.
So they'll definitely have to negotiate on a fee, which will be an agreement between the client and the advocate to see if they go to court, this is how much they're going to pay. Court fees have to be paid, and I think the burden of paying such court fees is actually on the client, because the lawyer is basically giving you his services, which normally he would have charged you. So what we try to do is we try to talk to the advocates that we have, make them understand that the people we are working with, they cannot afford an advocate. So just take the case on a pro bono basis. They might be in a position to pay court registration fees or any other fees that are required, then the advocate takes it from there.
All right.
But what we also do is we also try to build the capacity of the people we work with, the internal staff, whereby we train, or we have training sessions, or we have advocates who are trained on alternative dispute resolution, so they can come teach us or take us through the process of alternative dispute resolution, so that when they go to the field and they have cases that require alternative dispute resolution, they're in a position to actually handle the cases there before they can be referred here. Right. Because what we've tried to understand is many people believe in going to court to have their issues addressed, but then you'll come to realize that not all cases require going to court. They can be dealt with and determined before even going to court.
Oh, yeah.
Which will give you a better outcome, and it's more of a win-win situation between the victim and the perpetrator. Yes.
I believe that is the better option too. And very interesting, why the flower farms amidst all the areas that you've chosen to specialize in, you went to the flower farms. Maybe you can share that with us.
The reason we went to the flower farm is we were implementing a project that required us to work in the horticultural sector.
Okay.
And it was a different field. And what you'll come to realize, many projects these days focus on women.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do your research, or if you go to any to all the flower farms, or any flower farms, be it in Ruiru, in Thika, or in Naivasha, or in Kericho, a majority of the workers are women.
Yes, they are.
And the reason why women are the majority is because the bargaining power between men and women, it's very different. A woman will take any job because she has a family to take care of. She'll take a job because for sustenance.
Yes.
She needs to live. She needs to cater for her needs. She needs to cater for the needs of her children, like I've said. And they hold the family together. So we felt that there are many legal needs, not legal violations, legal needs in the flower sector. So we felt, let's go do a study or do a pilot project in the flower farms, see how it goes. And it worked. We currently have a very good rapport with the flower farms, and the women are very appreciative of what we are doing. Wonderful. And we are empowering them and educating them and building their capacity. But the most interesting thing about working in the flower farms in Naivasha is the workers, majority of them are seasonal workers. So there's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
You work in a flower farm for 6 months. Now the workers who you started with at the beginning of these 6 months, at the end of the 6 months, they'll have to go back so that they can get new workers. So these workers will have to go back to where they came from, because in Naivasha, they have to work, but then they have to go back home.
Yeah.
So when they go back home, what the lessons that they learned that touch on their legal needs, they take the lessons back home. and educate the people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a ripple effect that we felt that was really interesting and was really beneficial to us.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go back, when they go back to their communities or back home, we get calls. We are in a position to actually get people calling and asking, you help this person, are you in a position to come back and help me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Amazing. Great feedback getting there.
Yes. And I think also just to add on, and I also did not mention,
mm-hmm.
we started working with widows in Kenya, and we work with this organization called Rona Foundation, and the director is called Roslyn Orwa, and she's a widow herself. Now, how we started working with widows is when she tells her story or the stories of widows, you feel pain. You get to know how marginalized they are.
Mm-hmm.
There is no law that protects widows or widowers in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
There's no statute. There's nothing. There's no policy. And you come to realize that these are people in our community. These are people that have needs. These are people that have been disinherited. These are people that cultural practices have been done on them, which makes them feel less of a human being.
Oh, yeah.
And it is an area that is new for us, but a new area means new lessons learned, means new ideas of trying to protect this group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is also an interesting group that we work with.
I can imagine, and I mean that's one area that I feel has been overlooked or underlooked a lot by law and even by society.
Yes.
That's very true. As we wind up this part of our discussion, maybe you can give us a sneak peek. What can we expect from Haki Mashinani in the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow. In the next 5 to 10 years,
Yes.
definitely, what I can say, and what I'll always tell the staff that we work with is ensure that we expand our scope in terms of the locations where we are. Because currently we are in Nairobi County, Uasin Gishu, and Uasin Gishu County. We want to go to different areas, and the reason why we want to expand is, like I've said, working with widows. The widows in Kenya, they are more informed.
Oh, yeah.
No, not in Kenya, in Nairobi, they're more informed. But the widows in the Mashinani, they are not informed.
Oh, yeah.
And I think 2 weeks ago, 1.5 weeks ago, 4 of my colleagues went to Siaya in Homa Bay. And that is an area that I feel requires a lot of attention when it comes to widow protection and disinheritance of women and children by relatives. Those are areas that we want to go back. So we are planning on expanding to different counties. The other thing is we want to expand on the services that we provide. Because what we've come to realize in this short period of time is, yes, the 4 areas, they are relevant. They make sense to a majority of people.
Yes. But
there are other emerging legal needs that we might not foresee. So we want to be very flexible in such a way that we can address other issues that are emerging. And the other thing that I foresee for Haki Mashinani in the next 5-10 years to come is being an organization that is known, being an international organization, going to the region and addressing issues that affect not just Kenya, but regionally.
Amazing. Yes. Amazing work, Salome. Wish you all the best here
so
from
much.
Shujaa to Haki Mashinani.
Thank you so much.
What does being the legal coordinator entail?
It's basically handling the cases that come from the outlets, solving them and drafting. If I'm too overwhelmed, I give the LFOs the task, and it's just that. Before I was the legal coordinator, I used to be the legal field officer, and I was in the field. So I used to see people struggle with very simple things, very simple legal issues that I know offhand, and they can just say, just like that. And it's very amazing how they don't know, and at the end of the day, when you solve their cases, the smile is just amazing. And you feel that there's more that you can do for people, not just having the knowledge and just sitting in the office and sitting pretty, and yeah, just that.
What are some of the places that you've gotten to visit as a field officer?
Whoa. Kawangware, Korogosho, Isili, Siaya, Homa Bay, Karachuonyo, so many places. That's just to say the least.
Share with us as we finish up one experience that has made you realize, I'm doing the right thing.
We recently went to Siaya and Homa Bay. we met so many widows, and their stories are just overwhelming. They just overwhelm you emotionally and physically, and you feel that there's so much that needs to be done in the country, in the world, that this little thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to help this lady maybe get her the land transferred into her name, or just helping her, educating her on her rights and what she's supposed to maybe get from succession is just beautiful, because at the end of the day, you want to empower them, and that alone just gives me more energy every single day and just keeps me moving.
The Constitution provides that every Kenyan is equal before the law, and every Kenyan has the right to equal protection and equal benefit from the law.
We are Haki Mashinani, and you are watching Shujaa on WTV Kenya.
Haki Mashinani literally translates to justice at the grassroots, and this remains their mandate to serving Kenyans. I'm Linda Kruger, and this is Shujaa.